Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I am Dave Weishuttle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weishuttle. Doug, another week in quarantine, and I'm starting to get hooked on iNASCAR. I don't know why. I'm fascinated by it.
I'm actually enjoying a lot of the virtual sports, surprisingly. I know they're going to be doing or they did a virtual Kentucky Derby for charity.
Great.
So it's actually interesting the way they're coming up with stuff.
I'm liking the iNASCAR. It's
quicker.
Usually always on the weekends. And now I saw it. I don't know whether it was a Wednesday or a Thursday night because all these days are running into each other.
It was a show called iNASCAR Wednesday.
iRacing
Wednesday.
iRacing Wednesday. Okay. And it wasn't the traditional cars. It was a simulated dirt track. Was I watching that correctly?
That one episode.
Okay.
What they do is an hour show, 2 races, a lot of the same drivers.
Okay.
Which is, I actually think is fun to watch.
I love the setup in there. Most of them are having it in their own homes. I love the fact, like I said last week, I was watching one racer, and behind him he had a foosball table, and I was just captivated by it.
They have it set up where the 2 co-hosts, there's 3 total hosts, and the 2 co-hosts, Jeff Gordon and one of the other racers, they are sitting in the iRacing headquarters, or an iRacing headquarters, one of the generic iRacing headquarters, together, socially distant.
Okay.
And they commentate during the race from their seats.
Yeah, no, I saw that. No, but I'm really enjoying it. Here's my question. I had it last week. Once real racing starts,
they should be continuing.
Do you think they'll continue it?
Yep.
Because kind of digging it.
No, it's actually fun. And, again, this is the flattening the curve edition, I guess. We're starting to see a lot of things reopen. We'll be talking about some things. Colorado, Vegas, all that stuff.
Absolutely. Speaking of reopening, casinos are starting to have their plans on reopening, and I have a great interview this week. His name is Clay DuBois, and he owns Elite Chip Care. Now get this, EliteChipCare.com. Check it out on the web. Talk about an essential service for reopening for casinos. He has a patented way of cleaning and sanitizing casino chips, and he's worked with casinos all around the world, and we're going to talk to him and talk about his method. And I after this interview, let me tell you something. We pre-record the interviews. After this interview, I want to know which casinos he's worked with, because I'm going to those casinos, because I know those chips are cleaned and sanitized and germ-free.
And just a little look ahead, one of the exits is the Vegas reopening. They do mention that.
Great. Well, EliteChipCare.com. You got to check them out. And then also later on, we're going to have a Turnpike Sports Book Report where we talk about what's going on, the sports books across the country. And like I said, it's been an actual busy week in sports, so let's take a trip down the Turnpike. And today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store, available in over 95 cities across North America. Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today, and now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
We have a brand new state launching sports betting.
Yes, congratulations. Well,
Colorado.
Colorado. Yeah, I was going to say you announce it, but no, it's Colorado.
Okay. Colorado is now the 18th state to offer legalized sports betting.
Great.
And it's actually, from what I'm reading and from what all the analysts are saying, this could be a rival to actually New Jersey.
Great. Hey, I hope more states rival New Jersey.
It has
great
one
for the sports.
The way this is entirely set up, it actually mimics what New Jersey did.
Okay.
While they have retail casinos,
which are not open yet.
Right. Okay. They are going to have what could amount to about 30 online mobile sports books when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that's overwhelming. I live in New Jersey, and I'm still not sure how many sports books there are because they're coming and going, and, I know the big ones, but,
Well, they launched Friday, May 1st.
May 1st.
They, like I said, they could have up to 30 at some point when they're all up and running.
Yeah.
Right now, they launched with 4 active.
All right.
3 active, and another one's going to be coming soon. I mean, we're taping this early.
Okay.
And right now, 3 are active at this time, and there's going to be a total of 4 at some point very soon. So just the 4 that are going to be running: BetMGM, BetRivers, and of course we have FanDuel and DraftKings.
Okay. All right.
They launched on May 1st.
Yeah, a lot of reports are. I think they have 17 ready to go. I mean, just absolutely
right off the
ready
bat.
to go.
They're all licensed.
But right now, 4 are just open right now.
There's
and
4, 17.
From what I understand,
30.
it's exclusively mobile right now.
You can't go into a
online,
casino.
Yeah, online or mobile, or you can. They can enjoy the fun of betting on darts or soccer in Belarus.
Well, again,
fun stuff.
Remember last week we talked about what betting markets are going to be offering in the book report last week, the Gaelic games, bandy, a couple of Finnish-type games. But right now, when they launched, they were offering darts, table tennis, some international soccer stuff. They were also doing, and this is mostly DraftKings and FanDuel, their free virtual betting.
Great.
Politics, entertainment, weather, entertainment shows, that sort of stuff. What DraftKings and FanDuel are doing right now anyway in other states. But right now, the first major live event that they're looking at is going to be UFC 249, which is next weekend, May 9th.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm
looking
into that too.
What their original plans were to have baseball and the Kentucky Derby for opening weekend. Okay. And that didn't pan out because of the virus. Chauncey Billups placed the first bet.
See, that was going to be my next question to you. I know all these openings of these sports books, they have a famous person in that state that made I guess a notable contribution to the sports industry in that state. So who was it in Colorado?
Chauncey Billups.
All right.
He placed a bet at BetRivers.
All right.
For $100 on the Denver Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy to win NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
At plus 2,000.
All right. Well, you always have to do a bet that satisfies the
local
hometown crowd. So, that's okay, great.
Oh, and also
it's not a bad bet, by the way.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see exactly how this goes because, again, this is modeled after what New Jersey did. You don't need to go to a casino and register.
Yeah, see, that's great. I love the fact if you're going to have mobile sports books, I don't see the sense in completing your registration in person at a sports book. If it's online, do it all online.
Again, quirk of fate. Because of the virus, it's all online.
Sure.
They had this in the books. They didn't anticipate this. They wanted to do mobile betting.
I'm very curious if other states will get rid of that rule. That
they may suspend it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even after this pandemic, I'm curious to see how this changes the registration process.
I think you got a lot of people still worried about safeguards against gambling,
Sure.
and
I
that's
guess.
one of the
I
things.
don't
I understand it to a certain extent, but in a situation like this, you need to have.
They say their reason is that, but I don't see how that safeguards the integrity or the whatever they're trying to protect in gambling.
Either
But
way,
whatever.
Either way, congratulations, Colorado. Welcome to the family.
All right.
Exit 2.
Another thing that's been going on with the pandemic is an explosion of esports.
Oh, absolutely.
There are so many different streams going on.
Okay.
You don't know where to watch, other than some of the stuff that's on broadcast television. A lot of people that don't normally watch esports don't know where to watch.
Now, like I just said, I kind of like iNASCAR or iRacing or whatever they're calling it. Is that considered esports?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But
well,
again,
then, hey,
they're
I'm
on broadcast
digging
TV.
esports.
They're on broadcast TV, so that helps out a lot of people.
Okay. Yeah.
But a lot of these groups are on Twitch and all the other streaming networks. And I thought this was an interesting story just for one reason, that it hadn't been done, and it should have been done a long time ago. Twitch has just launched its first esports directory.
Twitch was all about esports. I mean, they have other things. I know a lot of poker players are on there. A lot of gamers are on there. And I'm surprised that they don't have an esports directory. But, I mean, that's the promised land for esports people. They go on Twitch. They talk about Twitch. They play on Twitch. I mean, you would think Twitch would have an esports directory.
Not too long ago, YouTube took away two of the big leagues,
all right.
Overwatch and Call of Duty, from Twitch. They took it away. They got their own deal with it. And now Twitch has been slowly trying to reassert itself as the home for esports. And so this directory gives people an easy way to find live matches, the tournaments. They're going to have a directory of the pro players, which a lot of them are on YouTube anyway, so they have their own directories on Twitch. And also they're going to do what YouTube does in terms of a personalized recommendation based upon your search and watch habits. So this is actually their first directory doing something like that, and I thought it was surprising that no one had done that before.
Yeah, I would just assume that Twitch already had
It was
it.
part of that, yeah.
Well.
Exit 3.
All right, here's the big exit. The flattening the curve, turning the tide, whatever you want to call it. Nevada has announced the reopening guidelines for their casinos.
It is Nevada, and people in New Jersey say, hey, we're first in the country, but no, New Jersey, you're not. Nevada is, and you would expect that these guidelines would, I guess, would be the blueprint for New Jersey, for Pennsylvania,
at the time we're
for the
taping,
other big places that have casinos.
At the time we're taping this, New Jersey has not released the Atlantic City guidelines.
Yeah,
for their casino reopenings.
Well,
they're working on them with Atlantic Care.
I guess these casino reopening guidelines are they different for sports books as well, or how?
All that's included.
Okay, everything's included with the casino opening guidelines.
Let's take a look at some of these.
All right, let's take a look.
First things that was announced in the press release from the Gaming Control Board out of Nevada: casinos will not be in part of Phase 1 of the reopening,
which is smart.
Right.
Very
I know a lot of casinos are starting to take reservations again in their hotel sections, but again, they're not part of Phase 1. We'll see when Phase 2 happens, which is where they're going to be. They have asked all the casinos to provide plans. The floor plan for gaming machines, slots, that sort of electronic games in the casinos, they have to have proper social distancing guidelines. Their suggestion was maybe take out seats or stools, but if a casino can come up with a different way of doing it and it meets their qualifications of how they can operate them, they can go ahead and do an alternate plan.
See, that was my question regarding slots anyway. I was wondering if they were going to take out every other slot and every other bench next to slots. Because, you see people, if you come with a spouse or a friend, sometimes even though they're not playing and you're playing a slot machine, they could be sitting right next to you. So I'm wondering if the slot, every other slot and every other seat would be taken out. I'm curious to see how that works.
You just mentioned spouse.
Okay.
Now, a lot of times when you talk social distancing, spouses are allowed to be next to each other.
Yeah, because, you're
I don't know if
with
that's
the
going to
person.
happen in a casino.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they take into account that.
Over on the table games side, table games and poker, they're suggesting, this is all just suggestions, if the casinos come up with something different, fine. 3 players per blackjack table,
Okay.
6 players per craps table,
All right.
4 tables per roulette table, 4 players per roulette table,
Okay.
and 4 players per poker table. I
Okay.
keep saying polka.
I understand the players and stuff like that, and but how about the crowds around? Let me tell you something. The biggest crowds are around the crap tables because these people are cheering on, and everyone. How are they going to handle the people watching these games?
They have asked casinos to put staff on duty to make sure crowds do not gather around slots, around the table games, also in the sports books and race books.
Okay.
So race books and sports books can reopen under a percentage of what the normal occupancy level is.
Can I also assume that they will require masks for everyone?
They're going to require all that stuff.
Okay.
Mask, gloves. Also,
Mask, gloves, and
they're also asking all the dealers at the table games to have hand sanitizer at the ready for people playing.
Okay, understand that. I also saw, talking about table games, I saw a report coming out of Las Vegas. I don't know what TV station it was, but they showed a prototype for I think it was a poker table, where they had people sitting, they had plexiglass between people.
Couple
sitting
different
there.
places have that.
A couple there's
Not
I
just,
guess they
not
would have
just
4
Nevada.
people.
There's also some other states are preparing for it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Nevada. It may have been Louisiana, too. But they had 4 people at the table, and they had a plexiglass sheet between those people. So
seen a lot of that coming out. I know.
That's only a prototype, so I don't know if that's going to be an official table, but it's going to be interesting to see what casinos and card rooms do with regard to the social distancing.
Well, just like the masks and gloves, a lot of companies that are gaming manufacturers are starting to do that too for the casinos. So we're going to see a lot of the different ways of protecting patrons and employees from each other.
Yeah.
And also they have a requirement in this reopening plan for the casinos and gaming establishments that they have to have a set way of cleaning and sanitizing the tables, the chairs, the chips, the table, the dice, all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I know the Wynn Resorts just came out with a proposal on how they're going to clean and sanitize the area every time a player leaves. I guess if a player's at a table, he gets up, I guess a team swoops in and starts sanitizing everything around that player before the next player sits down. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. And I guess they're going to remove tables too. From what I heard, some
places are going to be
removing tables, so the tables aren't so close to each other.
And same thing with all the Pai-Gow tables, the other table games, all that stuff. And of course, they have been instructed to provide plans on how they will be addressing disinfecting cards and chips.
Hey, you know what? You want to disinfect chips? EliteChipCare.com. Check them out.
Perfect time for the interview, too.
Yeah, I was shocked at how much bacteria is on chips. Yeah. It's just, but Elite Chip Care, yeah.
Exit 4.
Okay, last week everyone noticed a little change in the NCAA policies with regards to, I don't want to say advertising, but student-athlete endorsements. They relaxed their rules a little bit for these, so students can actually make money.
Get paid, yeah. They're using their likeness, you might as well get paid.
They can do their likeness and their name for personal appearances and social media endorsements.
Sure.
But they cannot use, they still can't use the school's name, the mascots, anything that's associated with the school they can't use. They can use their own name and likeness, and people should draw the conclusion of what school they're from.
Go as far as team colors?
That's kind of questionable, depending on what they're doing. Again,
interesting.
They relax the rules so student athletes can do personal appearances and social media promotion, so they can make some third party money. In no way, still, the college can't pay them for anything like this. The other thing I thought was interesting, the NCAA still hasn't changed their policies with regards to gambling activities a sports book wants to have a student-sponsored
I don't think that's
endorsement.
ever going to happen.
The NCAA still will not let them do that, but they did give room. Here. Where is the phrase? I want to get the phrase here. NCAA will let the 3 divisions under the NCAA conferences to decide whether certain categories of promotional activities should be precluded because they would be inconsistent with NCAA membership values. And the board went ahead and highlighted alcohol, tobacco, and sports gambling directly.
Oh, there's no way the NCAA is going to allow anything regarding gambling and these student athletes to be even remotely connected. Hey, let me tell you something. I'm sitting here in New Jersey. I cannot bet on a college or university located in my state. If Seton Hall was in the Final Four in basketball, I can't bet on Seton Hall. So there's no way gambling and student athletes will ever be connected.
Well, the one thing this creates is an intellectual property issue, too. You don't know what is going to be able to go through with a promotion. You just mentioned it, colors, any kind of implicit reference may be a trademark infringement or a violation of the NCAA rules. The other thing, everyone, when they first saw this policy announced, they were thinking, great, how the NFL has Madden 20, the Madden games, the electronic games.
I didn't even think of that.
A lot of people were starting to think we'd see a resurgence of the NCAA version from EA Sports. According to the NCAA, the policy hasn't changed toward using the school's logos and likenesses in video games. So you can actually have the player, possibly, but you can't do anything with them. It'd be just a generic college team. So nothing's really changed. And from what I understand, EA has already said they're not really releasing anything.
Okay.
There's no stance that changes that part of the policies. So if you're an esports fan that likes the NCAA, I think the last version of it came out in NCAA 2013.
Okay. Oh, all right.
So it's been that long.
Wow. Okay.
So there was some hope there. NCAA crushed it.
All right, today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today, and now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And to get in touch with Turnpike Sports, call or text the show at 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the social media handles for Facebook and Twitter. Info at turnpikesportsradio.com is the show email address.
And stick around because I talked to Clay DuBois from Elite Chip Care. His company does an amazing service for casinos and card rooms. He has a patented way of cleaning and sanitizing casino chips. And we're going to hear all about it coming up next. And then later on, we're going to have the Turnpike Sports Book Report. So stick around. We'll be right back with Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-515-1558. 800-515-1558.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Casinos are going to be opening soon, and one of the main questions I hear from many in the gambling industry is how do we keep our customers safe? One key element for the casinos is keeping their properties clean and sanitized so people can gamble safely. Our next guest is helping casinos do just that with his innovative way to sanitize gaming chips. To find out all about it, we are talking with the owner of Elite Chip Care, Clay DuBois. Clay, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
You know, before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about Elite Chip Care? I mean, how did you get started in the business, and how long has Elite Chip Care been around?
Well, I've been in the gaming industry in one aspect or another with slot machine manufacturers, and actually opened up the Wynn Resort in Macau, China in 2006, and spent about 3.5 years over there working as a tech manager. And, you know, we had the problem way back then. You know, our chips were dirty, sticking together, but there was nothing available on the market for purchase and no service available to do it. So when I left Macau and came back to the U.S., and I went into casino supply sales with a now defunct company. But one of the products I sold was casino chips. And I just, you know, when you're out there selling chips, casinos aren't ready to purchase every day when you're meeting with them. And the number one question that I was asked from gaming executives was, do you know anybody who cleans chips? And I just got tired of hearing that and figured I could do something about it. And I developed a patented basket for housing the chips. And then I built a system around that.
You know, before the virus started, I gave no thought on how sanitary casino chips are, but, you know, it seems like they could pick up a lot of germs, a lot of bacteria with so many people touching them. I mean, what could be on chips that are in the casino? What kind of germs and what kind of bacteria could be on the chips?
Yeah, good question. There was the most recent study that I read was, I think it was last May, where a professor from, I think it was Mississippi, or a doctor from Mississippi, collected 3 chips from, I think, 6 or 7 different casinos around Las Vegas, and grew some cultures on them to find out what was on them, and they had all sorts of, said there were significant levels of E. coli, staphylococcus. There were a lot of nasty bacterium on the chips. So, you know, it kind of gets me that, you know, COVID-19 is the hot topic now, when all along the real everyday safety hazard to your patrons and your dealers has been the harmful bacteria on every chip. So, yeah, I see it. I've been working with this for a little over 2 years, and I've talked to a lot of gaming executives, and, you know, unfortunately it took something like COVID-19 to raise awareness. But hopefully, you know, we'll come out the backside of this with a cleaner, more sanitary casino, and people, you know, washing their hands and, you know, being more aware of what's out there and what can be transmitted.
Before casinos had to start thinking about viruses and bacteria, how were casinos cleaning their chips in the past, or did they even clean their chips in the past?
The smaller casinos, maybe, 10, 20, 30,000 chips, that's manageable to do it in-house because you've got some players, some, dealers and things. I had, actually funny story. I was in Blackhawk, Colorado about 3 months ago cleaning chips, and I had an appointment with a director of table games at one of the properties out there. And I asked him, I said, how do you clean your chips now? And he said, every once in a while we have a chip cleaning party. And I'm like, well, no disrespect, but you can call it what you want. I guarantee nobody at that party is having any fun.
Yeah.
If you're dumping 500 chips into a soapy 5-gallon bucket and then scrubbing them with brushes, that brush action is spraying you with what's on the chip. To answer your question fully, most large casinos don't ever clean their chips. They don't have the capabilities to do that. It's just such a Herculean task. They wait until the chips get so dirty that then they buy new chips. I was recently contacted about 3 months ago from the Encore Boston Harbor, and they said, we've been open 6 months and our chips are already dirty. We need to get our chips clean, and that's great for them to recognize that. And I was ready to go over there and clean all their chips when everything shut down. Mm-hmm. But they recognize that the presentation with Wynn has always been, in my estimation, when I worked for them, impeccable. So it made sense for them to do it. But a lot of my customers that I meet with, probably the two most popular responses I would get when I bring up chip cleaning, well, let's call it three. First one would be, hey, great, yeah, how soon can we get it done? Second one would be, well, we don't really have it in the budget to clean our chips. And the third one was, well, most of my customers don't complain, so we don't see the need to do it. Fortunately, that mindset's changed. And again, it took something like COVID-19 to raise awareness. Another funny story, I actually pitched my idea to Shark Tank about beginning of January. They had a open audition in Las Vegas at the Venetian. I pitched the idea to them for cleaning chips and never got a call back.
Wow.
But, well, hopefully this will turn out to be a cautionary tale for those guys.
Well, like you said, you've been doing this for 2 years, and actually in 2019, Elite Chip Care got the top 20 most innovative products award from Casino Journal magazine. So you've been doing this even before the pandemic. Since the virus hit, and casinos have been shut down, have the calls to you increased? I mean, you said you're getting phone calls from Boston, as far away from Boston. I mean, has the calls increased?
Oh, yeah. I'm getting calls from, I talk regularly yesterday with South Africa. I've got a couple of companies in Europe that want to license my product. I'm working with casinos in Australia, Asia. I received calls from Japan, South Korea. But unfortunately, at this point, I'm not scaled up enough to be able to handle every jurisdiction in the world. So I'm concentrating my efforts primarily here in the U.S. and still talking with others outside of the U.S. to get the product out there.
Well, where are some of the places that have gotten their chips cleaned by Elite Chip Care?
One of the first ones was Red Hawk Casino up in Placerville, California. Great property. Ken Harvey, who's the director of table games at the time, as soon as I went commercial with it, I spent a lot of time testing the system before I actually went out into the market and started cleaning, and he was one of the first to take a chance on me. So we went in there and we were able to clean. At the time, we cleaned about 130,000 chips in about 3 days, which back then was, pretty speedy, because doing it in-house might have taken, a month or longer. Mm-hmm. Other properties, I've done a lot of card rooms around California. Primarily when you're dealing with card rooms, the decision process is near immediate because you're working with the owner, or Sure. If you're working, say, with one of the corporate giant casinos, there's so many levels of approvals that you have to deal with. It's a slow, arduous process. But I've done a number of those. We actually did the Westgate Las Vegas here about 2 years ago. They had an outbreak of neurovirus.
Wow.
And their patrons, guests, and dealers were all getting sick, gastrointestinal, so they were, clearly not well. And they called me up and they said, how soon can you get down here? We don't care what you charge us. We just need you to get down here and clean our chips. So, I knew Ray Anzavino, who was the VP of gaming down there at the time. And I've done a little bit of cleaning for him with his roulette chips a few months prior. And I told him, I'm not going to take advantage of your situation, Ray. I'll charge you a penny more per chip than I usually do because I've got to assemble my team and the equipment in short notice. And, we were able to go in there and clean, sanitize 65,000 of their chips in a single day.
Tell me about your process that you use to clean chips. I know you have a patent for it. So you have a unique way of sanitizing casino chips. Give me an overview of how you would clean casino chips. The science behind my system is ultrasonic cleaning. Ultrasonics are used for cleaning all sorts of different equipment. You can clean jewelry, any kind of, they're used in the auto industry for cleaning machine parts. So ultrasonics in themselves kill bacteria and pathogens through a physical process. So you don't need harsh chemicals to, kill the bacteria and the pathogens on the chip. So I designed a basket to hold the chips in place with minimal contact between the chips and getting a large quantity of chips in a small space. The key to the whole system is the basket. Anybody can buy an ultrasonic tank. They're readily available anywhere. But the trick is you can't just dump 500 chips into an ultrasonic tank and expect them to get clean. There has to be separation. There has to be minimal contact. You have to be able to load and unload the basket quickly. Loading the basket can't be repetitive where you get, carpal tunnel syndrome or hand cramps or anything like that. So that was the key to begin with. And I built everything else around that. So, I typically load the baskets. They go into an ultrasonic for a time cycle. And I've been doing this long enough where I can look at a casino chip, whether be it ceramic, clay, or plastic, and say, okay, that chip needs to be in the ultrasonic, maybe 400 chips per basket for 12 minutes. And if the chips are really dirty, it might be 300 chips for 18 minutes. So it's not an exact science as far as like quantity and time. It's basically experience of having done it so many times. I can actually, helps me out to have learned that in the past 2 years. Give me a rundown of what occurs after a casino calls Elite Chip Care. By the way, I do a lot of work with casinos, so I hope they all contact you at elitechipcare.com. So, but do you...
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I know. Boy, do you bring a bunch of equipment to the property? Do you take the chips off of property? Do you send them equipment? How does Elite Chip Care work with the casino?
First of all, chips never leave the property. That's their casino currency, so they're very protective of that.
Okay.
I designed my system knowing that to be fully mobile. All of my equipment is on wheels. And basically we, before I actually go in, the casino will call me, and once they book an appointment, I'll do a pre-cleaning site inspection where I'll meet with the various department representatives, be it table games, surveillance, security, cage, and answer their questions and talk to them a little bit about how the process works as far as like moving chips to and from the location. With facilities and security, we might talk about where we're going to park when we get to the casino, where we're going to offload the equipment, where we're going to set up the equipment once we get in there, so that the day of the cleaning or night of the cleaning, whichever, we get there and everything pretty much goes off like clockwork and there aren't any surprises or questions. Is that it? Excuse me.
Oh, sure. When we're talking about casinos, I know they use a lot of chips. Now, how many chips can you clean, and what's the time frame that these chips can be cleaned?
Typically, right now, one of the benefits of the system that I design is it's scalable. Mm-hmm. So I can go into a casino with anywhere from one ultrasonic tank, and in fact, I just developed a new product with a single ultrasonic tank for the pit, so that you can roll into the pit and clean right at the table.
Wow,
and that's a product that's for sale now. But typically, as I said, my system is scalable. I can go in with anywhere from 1 to 10 ultrasonics. With one ultrasonics, I can typically clean, up to 600 chips every 8 to 15 minutes. With 10 ultrasonics, you're looking at that times 10. So say I'm, averaging 500 chips per basket with 6 ultrasonics. We're looking at every 8 to 12 minutes on average, doing about 3,000 chips. So you're looking at, a daily output right now might be on average anywhere from 75 to 125,000 chips a day. And that's not just clean. That's clean, dried, re-racked, ready to go back out into the casino for play.
That's amazing because I know a lot of casinos run tournaments, either it's a blackjack tournament or a poker tournament, and it seems like your process can really help clean those chips during the actual event.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking with a good friend of mine, Chad Holloway with PokerNews.com. He does live reporting at these tournaments, and we were talking about maybe the World Series of Poker might need this, because they have so many different events during that tournament. It might be a good uptick in customer perception and marketing to say, hey, we're sanitizing our chips either after or before every event.
I've read that the Wynn sent out their procedures for sanitizing an area after a player leaves. I know the area is disinfected and cleaned before the next person gets into the seat. But how often would a casino or a card room need to clean their chips in order to provide a safe environment for their players?
Well, I've cleaned chips as old as 17 years that have never been cleaned. So anytime between 17 years and every day, is better than 17 years. I was in San Diego 2 weeks ago, and I had a chip set that was 11 years old and had never been cleaned.
Wow.
So if they're cleaning once a year, that's better than once every 11 years. If they're cleaning every 6 months, that's even better. One of the reasons why I developed my working title for the single unit is the pit manager. The reason I developed that was because it's not really economically feasible for a casino to have me in once a month to clean their chips. You don't want to go bankrupt cleaning your chips.
Yeah.
And one of the questions that gaming executives ask me when I'm cleaning their chips, they're like, how often should I clean my chips? And I'm like, well, you're here every day. You see your chips. You know when they're starting to get dirty. You tell me. There's no one formula to say you need to clean your chips once a day, once a week, once a month. I don't suggest doing it, that quick. That's that short of an interval. I would say, once a month, once a quarter is probably a pretty good rule of thumb right now. But it's kind of strange that the pendulum has swung the opposite direction from, well, we don't see a need to clean our chips to, I need a solution to clean and sanitize my chips every day. Mm-hmm. I think that's a little bit, beyond what needs to be done. As long as the chips are clean and a customer comes to the table and looks at, near new appearance on the chips, that customer perception is, that's a clean chip. And if you've got to sanitize it, once a week or once every 2 weeks, there is no real preventive measure to keep a virus from, gaining a foothold on your chips. And I try to manage my customers' expectations with regards to that, because I can go in and sanitize their chips, and the next day somebody comes in with COVID-19 or norovirus or any other, bacterial malady and touch or sneeze on the chips. And guess what? That chip has something funky on it.
Clay, we're running out of time, but if someone wants to get in touch with Elite Chip Care, how would they do it?
They can visit my website. It's www.elitechipcare.com. I've got representation and sales guys. I'm bringing on now. I've got John Marshall in the northeastern United States. I've got Tom and Denise Carmella down in Pennsylvania, and I've got Paul LeBate down in Florida. So I've got the East Coast pretty much covered right now with representation. And I'll soon have all of their contact information on the website for anybody who's interested to reach out to.
Clay DuBois from Elite Chip Care, thank you for coming on, and thank you for what you're doing. I hope every casino and card room gives you a call, because I think the service you provide will protect a lot of people who go to casinos and card rooms. So thanks a lot for what you're doing.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate you having me on. Have a good afternoon.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
We like to think that we live in a nice, safe neighborhood. The truth is that a burglary occurs every 13 seconds, and homes without a security system have a 300% greater chance of getting broken into. How many homes in your neighborhood were robbed yesterday? You need to start protecting your home and family today. Call now to get state-of-the-art protection. To keep your family and property safe, call the number on your screen now. Representatives are standing by to assist you. Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. If your employer doesn't supply health care coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private health care is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. To get the coverage you need, call the number on the screen now.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
And the Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sports book, available anywhere in New Jersey. BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E, and you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and $20 bonus at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, let's go around the country with some of the sports books. Again, congratulations, Colorado, for launching their sports betting. But over in Nevada,
I think I know where you're going with this because numbers were released.
That's exactly what we're going to be talking about.
Numbers were released.
We've got 3 states with numbers.
Okay.
Nevada released their overall gaming numbers were only down 39.6%.
All right.
But their sports betting numbers took a huge hit in March. 76% down, 141 million in handle.
Okay.
Last year, in March, they had a record 596.8 million in handle. So it's 76% from year on year.
All right.
Online sportsbooks took in just $89 million in bets. That in comparison, these are the other numbers that came in. Indiana, online handled $61 million.
All right.
New Jersey, online $163. And Pennsylvania, $118.
Okay.
So, they were behind those other 3 states for the first time, and it's
very understandable.
This is new to Nevada because they started separating out the reporting for online and retail. They never did that before until
they never had competition before,
right?
And they never had to parse those numbers out.
And they still have the in-person registration requirement in Nevada.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
You can't register for an online book without going to the casino and finishing it up.
Huh. Weird.
Yep. This actually was the lowest amount wagered since 1993 by Nevadians? People of Nevada. Anyway, so that's Nevada's sports numbers and gaming numbers, too. Rhode Island. Sports betting was down significantly, obviously, 63.8% to $841,000 in revenue. Total handle was about $5.8 million.
Mm-hmm.
In February, the revenue was $2.3 million. So they had a huge drop in revenue.
Sure.
Let's see. The handle overall was, mobile handle for the month of March, I'm just looking at my notes here, was $3 million, which is down 63.8% from the $8.46 million earned in February. And mobile sports betting handle improved from 25% in January to 30% in February to 34% of the overall handle in March.
You know, it's going to be months before experts in this field make sense of these numbers, because right now, certainly they're going to be down. They're down historic levels, but, I think we're going to need some perspective in a couple of months to figure out what this means to the long-term health of the product,
The one thing that's probably going to help a lot of these numbers is going to be live sports coming back. We got the UFC coming up May 9th. I mentioned it earlier in the show.
That's going to be a huge bet.
Probably going to be the most wagered UFC event.
I would think so.
Probably ever.
Let me tell you something. The betting numbers on the NFL draft were through the roof.
Yeah. They were crazy. And, again, you're starting to see the league start getting their plans together for relaunching. The NFL has two plans. Okay. One for a normal launch and one if they have to delay it. The CFL,
they're covering their bases.
The CFL has been talking about canceling the season.
That's the Canadian Football League.
That's right? The Canadian Football League. MLB has the Major League Baseball has the 3-division setup where they don't have to travel as much.
Okay.
That'll be interesting to see if that actually comes to fruition. One other state to mention, West Virginia, for the 4 weeks, March 28th to April 18th. Now, West Virginia is different than all the other states. They report weekly numbers.
All right.
But this is for the 4 weeks ending April 18th. Only online sports betting. Total handle was $2 million, just under 2.1, really.
All right.
Sports books accepted $725,000 in the first week. This past week in April was their best handle, $472,000. So not a lot of betting going on in West Virginia. There's actually not a lot of sports being offered in West Virginia anyway, as opposed to a lot of the other things. And just a couple of notable Super Bowl bets that were placed in the offseason.
Super Bowl already? Okay,
yeah.
I'm not even
well,
thinking
football futures are still a big thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that wasn't even thinking NFL, but okay, go ahead.
These were all done at William Hill.
All right.
$10,000 on the Colts at 45 to 1. Might not be a bad thing with Rivers there, quarterback.
Oh, okay.
$6,000 on the Bills at 35 to 1, and $4,000 on the Titans at 40 to 1.
So people are throwing money down on the, I guess
the upstarts, I guess, as you can call them.
Yeah. So.
Especially now that Brady's left the AFC East, a lot of things are changing. Bill Belichick opened at plus 700 at Caesars for Coach of the Year.
Interesting. All right.
It'll be interesting to see exactly the future. I'm looking forward to actually seeing how the futures have changed now that the draft is done and some of these other maneuvers have been done with these quarterbacks.
Sure. And the Turnpike Sports Book Report was brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casinos, now your favorite sports book, available anywhere in New Jersey. BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE. That's PIKE. And you get a risk-free bet up to $300 and $20 bonus dollars at BorgataCasino.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Well, that'll do it for us. I guess so. For me, it's going to be another week of racing and NASCAR
and table tennis.
And well, I kind of enjoy
Belarusian hockey, soccer, whatever.
I don't like
going
watching
on
the table tennis. The darts was just the dart board, and I have not yet seen Belarus soccer. So I'm curious to see that, but I would assume it looks like every other kind of soccer.
Well, we're also going to see some virtual horse racing too. So.
Oh yeah, no, I got to check that out. So. Again, it's always interesting now in the quarantine life. So, but stay home, stay safe.
Flatten the curve.
Flatten the curve, and we'll see you next time on The Turnpike.